And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, elephants and zebras, gypsies and fairies. I'm not feeling good, so forgive me. We don't have anything really, so I put some of that on. I coughed up a lot of phlegm earlier. I was glad to get it out, though. It felt good getting it out. Boy, that was a lot, though. And my throat and chest was starting to hurt from coughing so much. No, I'm not crying. I think it's the Vicks Vapor Rub that's... Okay, there was an argument on Facebook, and I shared, or somebody shared a link showing how many people the NRA has killed, 0, versus how many people the Planned Parenthood has killed, millions. And somebody said, well, how do those go together? I mean, they're apples and oranges. No, they're not. People get upset that people are being killed, and they should. Everyone should be upset that people are being killed. When I was in high school, we went to school with guns in our vehicles. I didn't have a vehicle. I didn't have a gun. Well, I had my granddaddy's shotgun, but it doesn't work. I mean, I wouldn't try firing the thing. But we didn't shoot the schools up. We didn't do it. We knew it was wrong. We didn't do it. People are all upset and want to do something about the violence in schools, or at least the kids who go in and start shooting. They don't actually seem to care about stopping the bullying and all that kind of stuff. We look at all the millions and millions of children that Planned Parenthood murders. Nobody seems to be upset about that. And in case somebody is new to my videos, I'm an atheist, so but I still see those as human children. To me, conception is the point where you become a human being. Sorry, there's more phlegm coming up. If we're going to get upset about people getting killed in schools, why don't we get upset about people being killed in what purport to be medical offices? And as for the NRA, I don't support the NRA. NRA, I got to take Lucky out, so I got to pause this. Hold on. So I'm back. If gun control worked, then what about New York City, Chicago, Los Angeles? The places with the strictest gun control are the most violent places. So obviously it's not working. As for how fast a person can shoot an AR-15, and no, AR-15s are not full auto. I can shoot a semi-automatic pistol as fast as I can shoot an AR-15. Yes, I can get magazines for a pistol that have just as many rounds as an AR-15, or even more. This isn't going to be a very good video because I'm not feeling good. For dinner we had bacon and pancakes. Anyway, I made a video some time ago about excuse me, about gun control, but a lot of people didn't bother but watch the first 5 seconds of it. and assumed I was supporting gun control. I don't know if you actually watched the whole video. I wasn't. But anyway, let's look at cell phones and people driving while they're texting on their cell phones. More people are killed every year that way than from these mass shootings and things like that. Are we going to take cell phones away from the kids? You know, I doubt we are. Oh, hey, Maggie! Maggie! Lucky. Oh, Lucky. Oh, you okay? You okay? You okay? Let me see that little face of yours. You okay? Oh, poor boy. Sorry, Maggie went after Lucky, so I'm gonna kind of stop this video. I was gonna say something. Oh yeah, another subject. People want to ban Muslims from coming to this country. You know, there's always been there's been people wanted to ban Asians from coming here. People wanted to ban the Irish from coming here. People wanted to ban Southern Europeans from coming here, and so forth and so on. And sometimes bans were put into place, even if only temporary. And I'm Irish American. You know, although it was my dad who immigrated, not my grandparents. I mean, my grandparents were immigrants, but not to the United States. And I'm Southern European. I'm from Southern Spain. Well, Spain is Southern Europe. And, you know, Islam, not all Muslims are evil. Okay, here it is right here. I have a copy of the Quran. Oops, that's the back of it. I know it's been, well, used and abused, I guess, but there are things in there that are evil. All non-Muslims must be converted or killed. Okay. Do all Muslims believe that that is right? No. There are things in the Bible that are evil. You gotta kill the witches. How many Christians go out there and kill witches? How many Jews go out there and kill witches? And there are Muslims who will not kill you because you're not a Muslim. Will they try and convert you? I have never, in a face-to-face meeting, never ever had a Muslim try and convert me. Ever. There were Muslims who hated what happened on 9/11. And not all Muslims are evil. And, you know, to me, if you want to immigrate to the United States, fine. But you need to learn English. You need to learn our customs and culture, if you can even call it that, because culturally the United States is a melting pot, as they used to say. And you know, you go to Boston, which isn't that far from us, and New York City isn't that far from us, and you can go to neighborhoods that are staunchly Greek, staunchly Polish, staunchly German. You know, I lived in a area of Texas for 3 or 4 years, and there were still people at the time who only spoke German. The Fredericksburg area, I didn't live in Fredericksburg, I lived near there, but I don't know if, I doubt there's still people that only speak German, but when I lived in the area, you could come across from time to time people that only spoke German. Now, I don't like that. If you come here, you need to speak English. English is not my first language. It's not even my second or third language. Spanish is my first. I guess German and Serbo-Croatian would be my second and third. I never really spoke Serbo-Croatian. I understood a little bit of it, and I could respond because my best friend in Germany, his parents were Yugoslavian. But if you want to come to the United States, you have to want freedom. Although we're losing our freedom every day, more and more. But how many store clerks? Here's another thing. Just because somebody looks Middle Eastern doesn't mean they're Muslim. There are many Christians from the Middle East. There are Jews from the Middle East. There are Christians and Jews from Africa. Ethiopia and Somalia have one of the oldest Jewish communities outside of Israel in the world. And thankfully Israel let a lot of them immigrate. That was, I don't know if that was the 80s or 90s, but I remember there was like an airlift to get them to safety, to get them to Israel. And from what I understand, a lot of them actually live in their own little neighborhoods. And they have their own customs and traditions that are a bit different from regular Judaism. But, look at Hispanics, or people talk about Mexicans. Right? A lot of people that come across that border are not from Mexico. They're from further south, Nicaragua, El Salvador, even as far away as Brazil and Argentina and Chile and places like that. Although the countries that do better economically and socially, you have fewer people wanting to leave. But countries like Mexico, I've been to Mexico. And I have no interest in going back to Mexico. I'm glad I had the opportunity to go. When I lived on Okinawa, there were people that lived in shacks made of corrugated steel. When I went to Mexico, there were people who lived in shacks made of cardboard. Cardboard. Now my thing is, if it's so bad in your country, then you need to change things in your country. Before you decide to come here, you need to fix things where you are. So many people do come here, and then they just want it the way it was where they left. If it was so bad, if you hated it so much, why did you leave? And then you come here and you try to institute the same culture, the same laws, the same customs, the same language. But you were trying to get away from that. So why are you coming here? You might as well not come here. Period. I remember when was it the pre-party? PRI, I believe. Anyway, the Vicente Fox, the ruling party in Mexico for decades and decades, there was basically one political party in Mexico. And I remember when there was an election and somebody from an opposition party won. And even I was elated. Okay? I was like, oh right, maybe we're going to see some change in Mexico now. No change that I know of. Mexico is corrupt, it's violent, and Mexico has very strict gun laws. But it's a very violent country. Lots of gun crime in Mexico. Yet they have very strict gun laws. Canada, very strict gun laws. They have school shootings in Canada. In España, where I'm from, we didn't have guns. there were people that had like a shotgun or something to hunt with, but those people were few and far between. And there was only one group of people that had guns, and that was the government, the Guardia Civil. And the Guardia Civil, I don't know, I really don't consider them police, at least not then. Today maybe they are, but back then the Guardia Civil were people you had nothing to do with, because they would kill you or put you in prison, and if you went to prison you were never getting out. You were probably going to die there. Only the government had guns, and there were a lot of shootings. People were shot in the street. You said something against Franco or against the government, they wanted people to see you get shot, and they wanted people to see your dead body. That's why they wouldn't do it in your house or your flat. They would take you outside and do it. They were sending a message. In Mexico, they do that as well. The police will shoot you, and the cartels will also shoot you and leave you in the streets. In Mexico, the only people that legally have the guns are people who work for the state, either the federales or local police or whatever. But if you want to come to the United States, because you want freedom, you're willing to learn English. Again, my native language is not English, it's Spanish. I don't speak it anymore, but I did for a long time. I did till I was a teenager. And anyway, you want to come here, you don't want to impose third world conditions on people, you're willing to allow people to be free, I have no problems with you coming here. But if you want to come here and you simply want to install the same system here from where you were supposedly escaping from, then don't come here. We don't want you here if that's why you're coming here. Do you want me to go to your country and act that way? I don't think so. Now, let me see, if I went back to España, I'm considered Old Spanish. Okay, I come from a different generation. And New Spanish and Old Spanish. I come from the Old Spanish. I'm Old Spanish. We're the Franco era people. And it was a scary time in Spain under Franco. Very scary. For years, decades. Because I was willing to speak out against Franco. I thought his people were going to come and get me in the United States. I look back on that and I realized, well, that probably wasn't going to happen. It was extremely doubtful, because there were a lot of Americans who were willing to criticize Franco. And I would have been the least of their concerns. Actually, there were people in our own government that openly criticized the Franco regime. Excuse me. Yeah, I haven't been crying. I just feel so bad in this stuff. I think this may be helping to loosen some of it up, though. Misty, do you want to get on the TV? You gonna run away from me? Yeah, you haven't been on the internet yet. She's a purr. You hear her purring? Her name is Misty. How old is she, hon?
She's 2 months old.
2 months old. Look at that. Whoops. Yep. And she She has a little stub of a tail like a cottontail rabbit. All the cats like her. Sort of. Boo likes her more than anybody else. But they all play with her, and Maggie licks her, gives her a bath. But, anyway. Yeah, there was when I lived in San Antonio de Tejas, San Antonio, Texas. Yeah, I lived in this one apartment building for 6 years. It was a really good apartment. And, the owner was a great owner. The manager, she was a great manager. Very much like my current landlord. I would say, frankly, I couldn't put my current landlord or that apartment manager one over the other because I think they're both great. So, I'm not going to say my landlord's name because he's not a public figure, but I swear that our landlord and Jack Vale are twins, or they're the same person. No, I don't think they're really the same person, but maybe if I put them side by side they wouldn't look that much alike, but I swear that he and Jack Vale, he's a comedian here on YouTube, but I don't know if he still has it. He had a TV show for a while. But anyway, those apartments I lived in on Gardena, not Gardenia, but Gardena Street, between Vance Jackson and Fredericksburg Road. Eventually, the owner sold the complex. The new owners didn't want to keep the same management. Katrina happened. We wound up getting a whole lot of people from Katrina. We had some banditos, or I don't know if they were banditos, but they supported the banditos that lived there. And when the first manager that was there, she wouldn't put up with BS from anybody. And so, those bandito people, they didn't mess around. They didn't bother anybody or nothing. But anyway, there was a convenience store at the corner of Vance Jackson and Gardena. And this was, I guess, after 9/11. And I was in there. And somebody went up to them. They were buying something and said, "Oh, you're like those people that crashed the planes, aren't you?" And I'm like, but these people never tried to convert me or anyone else to Islam. They were always very nice people. They were never violent. And like I said, I don't like Islam. Okay? I'm not a fan of the religion, or any religion, to be honest with you. But there are Muslims who are not going to harm you, and there are Muslims who will harm you. There are Christians who will not harm you, and there are Christians who will harm you. So, and anyway, I could have made a better video, but I'm not feeling good. So, has anybody read Go Set a Watchman by Harper Lee? I have the book. I've had it for a long time now, but I haven't read it. Anyway, well, I tell you what, when Misty plays, she plays hard. When she sleeps hard. She has a little piece of cloth that she likes playing with. Misty, you want to show the world That's my toy. See, I don't have a tail. No, I don't have a tail. I don't know if you can hear it purring. I wish you wouldn't get any bigger. So, anyway.